Verse 532 equates the killing of one soul to the death of all humanity. This describes a technical system failure, the injection of a recursive, self-destructive code into the human operating system. We see the first execution of this code in the story of Habil and Qabil. Facing a threat to his life, Habil chooses a specific stance. He refuses to mirror his brother's violence, maintaining a state of total receptivity rather than reacting with his own ego. Qabil, however, allows his nafs to override this boundary. His ego processes the murder as a viable solution, making the act of violence appear acceptable within his internal logic. The system responds to the murder by sending a crow. This crow provides a demonstration of concealment, showing the mind how to manage death by pushing it out of the field of vision. This physical act established a psychological precedent. By learning to hide the body in the dirt, humanity acquired the cognitive blueprint for spiritual suppression, the belief that a truth can be neutralized simply by making it invisible to the observer. This method of concealment links directly to the interrogation found in chapter 81, and when the girl buried alive is asked for what sin she was killed. While referencing a historical practice, the maw'udah functions here as a symbol for the burial of our own fitrah. It represents the moment we terminate our inner innocence and the divine covenant we were born to express. Every time we suppress an inner truth to protect the ego, we trigger a mechanism of self-unraveling. As described in chapter 16, it is the equivalent of a woman spending all day spinning a strong thread only to tear it back into pieces with her own hands. This internal burial is not a historical event. It is the active input code that locks a person into a recursive system trap today. Once the truth is buried, the system fractures the signal into 4 specific pathways of corruption. The first path is ignorance, failing to recognize the signal at the source. The second is desire, trading the signal for a temporary worldly attachment. The third path is hypocrisy. The mind receives the signal clearly, but intentionally deflects it toward a false, more comfortable substitute. The final path is arrogance. This is the terminal failure point, where the soul consciously asserts its own logic over the divine command. In the Quranic topology, Iblis is classified only as being among the disbelievers. He joined a pre-existing set. He did not initiate the condition of disbelief itself. Verse 241 issues a warning specifically to the reader. Do not be the first disbeliever in it. This inaugural slot is reserved for the one who receives the book, knows its truth, and chooses to push it underground anyway. All 4 of these corrupted paths lead to the same destination, a hard-coded system mirror. Ibrahim exploited this logic when he destroyed the idols, but left the largest one standing. He wanted the people to return to their highest assumed authority, only to face the complete vacuum they had created. Standing before that silent idol, they found no answers. The ignorant lacked evidence, the desirous lacked fulfillment, and the arrogant faced their own reflected silence. This mirrors the confession of Shaytan in chapter 14. I had no authority over you. I only invited you, and you responded. The false system only persists because we voluntarily surrender our power to it. Ibrahim moved through this trap by declaring himself sick to his people. He wasn't corrupt. He was identifying himself as a mirror to reflect the sickness of a civilization that had buried its own truth. Because Ibrahim refused to conceal the truth, the physical laws of the system recalibrated around him. And so, when he was thrown into the fire, the heat was commanded to become cool and safe. Yusuf's extraction from the well, Yunus from the whale, and the sleepers from the cave prove the signal cannot be permanently suppressed. The divine law of resurrection acts as a global override to every human burial. These extractions demonstrate that survival is a function of holding the signal. Since you are the one currently processing this data, verse 36:3 identifies you as part of this functional lineage. Indeed, you are among the sent ones. To stabilize this role, chapter 19 provides the activation command, take the book with strength. Taking the book with qawa, strength, creates a structural grip. It secures the internal signal before the ego can intervene and begin the process of concealment. The Quran is not a collection of historical warnings. It is a live execution code and the exact escape vector from a self-generated curse. The escape vector is open. The choice to activate it is yours.